AKAPAD's Todd McFarlane's biggest career mistake. And here we are, AKAPADers. Welcome back to the channel. Peter A. DeLuca here, AKAPAD69. And stay with me, known through Philadelphia, PA, Europe, and the multiverse as the eclectic one. Let's just get right into it. Jessica Priest. Yeah, this is the origin of Spawn. This is the character that killed Al Simmons to create Spawn. 300 issues. That's right, he stole all that credit from Dave Cerebus, the true 300 issue record holder. But let's go. So I went into a deep dive. I've done multiple takes of this video. And during the deep dive, let me just show you guys what Baptism of Fire is. Alright, real quick. Baptism of Fire. Right here, guys. Right there. Baptism of Fire. It says it right there. That's how we know what the title is. What is Baptism of Fire? Well, it comes before Extreme Sacrifice, and it's right here. People, Rob Liefeld had a sweet spot at this time. You have to say. Youngblood issues 8, 9, and 10. 3, I think 9 is my absolute favorite. This was on my drawing table for so long. Just to bring you up to speed. So, Rob Liefeld comes back. We have Chap Yap taking over. And we just get, like, you know, Youngblood. We're being reintroduced. New storyline. Cybernet. Or Cyberdyne. Running crazy, right? And we're just getting, like, month to month. We're getting new Youngblood. And it feels good. It's awesome. It's exciting. And then at the end, we get issue 10 here. Okay? Issue 10. Big boy Chapel. Alright. So what happens in Youngblood issue 10? We have a Spawn Chapel face-off. Very much like the animated Spawn Series 3 Episode 1. We cut between the Youngblood team doing some business, doing some work. Fantastic Black Rock decapitation coming up here, and he catches his head. And I've talked about this before. He catches his head, puts it back on. Youngblood was some crazy, wild stuff. And Youngblood 2 also has a sweet spot between the sex, the violence, the superhero, the military. They're not superheroes exactly. Keep that in mind. But yeah, back to Chapel. Chapel decides to end his life. People, now Chapel becomes Lord Chapel. We'll highlight that right here real quick. Becomes Lord Chapel. He takes over hell. He becomes the devil. It was the wildest stuff, and now we have the entire Extreme Universe with this guy, Crypt, fighting the devil and Crypt is just going through killing people one by one. People, it's awesome. Alright, so Baptism of Fire, it lays it out perfectly. The origin of Spawn is integrated, is integral, is merged, it's marriaged with Rob Liefeld's Chapel. The combination of these two characters, Al Simmons and Chapel Wapple, these two characters, it's a match made in heaven. And back during the day, oh my god, when Image Comics really had a connective universe, it was glorious the way how these two characters met in the past, in the present. People, I'm telling you, right now, if you have HBO Max, we still call it HBO Max in this household. Spawn, Todd McFarlane Spawn, Season 3, Episode 1. The confrontation of Spawn and Chapel. It's one of the best, like, animated episodes ever. Spawn completely breaks down Chapel, and we see a vulnerability within Chapel, but then again, these are killer assassins, and we feel sorry for no one. And that episode is so effing good. But then we hit the Spawn movie. So I went back and forth. The whole day went by. I've been on a deep dive here. Here's a little bit of the timeline. Spawn hits. Right? Spawn hits. Spawn becomes a major success. During the course of Spawn, we're introduced to Chapel. Chapel created Spawn, right? So then that falls right into the Spawn animated series, where they pull the elements from the comic book and they drop it right into the HBO Max animated series, Todd McFarlane Spawn. And we have this, we just have a linear continuity. And even during that animated show, the relationship and how things come about gets a little bit more refined, even within like a year of the two being introduced to one another. But then the Spawn movie hits, and we have to kind of assume while the Spawn movie is hitting, the HBO show is in production. So we kind of have to say that everything that they're animating on the HBO show is almost like a year out. But they start making the movie, might even be 2 years out. But while they start making the movie, Todd McFarlane just says, look, Rob Liefeld, you gave the universe, you gave us all a beautiful character. And I am sorry, but Chapel will not be in the Spawn movie. But I'm going to one-up you. I'm going to upgrade it. I'm going to give you Jessica Priest. Okay, and if you guys are not familiar with Jessica Priest, let's just cut to it right now.
Wait here.
So you guys see my point. Jessica Priest is no substitute for Chapel. I get it. Later down the line, Jessica Priest becomes the god-awful she-Spawn. I mean, talking about trying to piss on my leg and tell me it's raining. Let's have a look at Todd McFarlane's biggest mistake, because this issue dropped a few weeks after Spawn was already in theaters. It was Todd McFarlane's entire intention to erase the Chapel Spawn connection from your mind. In effect, really screwing over Rob Liefeld, and I know we like to crap on Rob Liefeld from time to time, but it really is a screw over, and he doesn't even introduce a character that competes with Spawn on zero level. Maybe with the idea that it's a hot, sexy babe, maybe in leather, but no. Everything that we get post-Spawn origin Chapel is completely downhill, makes no sense, isn't as good. It just makes us all hope and dream to get that back. Let's get into the origin of Jessica Priest, the Todd father, the cringe father, trying to convince us that this character is as good as Chapel. Let's go. And then here, let's go, aka Padders. Jessica Priest is better than Chapel. Jessica Priest, this is the one that creates Spawn. This character. Issue 12, issue 13, issue 14. It's a trilogy. It's a Jessica Priest adventure. They somewhat like to borrow from Heart of Darkness and Apocalypse Now. One of these chapters is called like Apocalypse When. Back cover, Creech. Again, McFarlane is at his absolute height with this. I just want to go through some of what's in this issue. The action figures start evolving. We have Total Chaos Series 2. The action figures are changing. They're becoming more sculptural, more detailed, more edgy. They're not quite to the plastic statues that they graduated to, but Total Chaos 1 and 2, it's legit. There's some great designs. We have Kiss Psycho Circus here. This is McFarlane's feather in the cap. This is his crowning publishing achievement. Psycho Circus with Angel Medina, who later took over for Spawn after issue 100. Angel Medina is the second greatest Spawn artist. Sorry, Todd McFarlane lovers, but you guys know the list. It's Greg Capullo, Angela Medina, Todd McFarlane. Trades, merchandise, books, making of, Spawn, magazines, like we get, there's just a lot happening. Spawn merchandise, 1997, the year of Spawn. You can't deny that. PlayStation game, the soundtrack is awesome. I love the soundtrack. Trading cards, the series 1 of the is dropping on VHS, series 1 of the anime series for 2 versions, edited, unedited, or PG, NR, PG-13, and R. So let's get into it. So a lot of this, we just have to call it, it's 90s style, it's 90s edge, it's 90s everything. The effort put into this book, we don't see from modern day McFarlane books. The borders here are artful. There's a beveling, and you'll see. Try and catch it as I'll show it off as best I can. The coloring, it's smooth, it's airbrushed. Not a lot of lassoing for the highlights. I mean, we're straight up airbrushing this. Everything has it's a dreamy appearance. The background coloring of the page blends into the caption boxes. There's a height of presentation in graphic design and art direction for this era of Todd McFarlane publishing that is, I'm telling you, people, everyone copied it. Chaos Comics, very close. It pulls you in, and by 90s style, to further that, the storytelling, we have a girl, she just burned down her house, singing ashes, ashes, we all fall down. She's roasting a marshmallow. The police, the firemen show up. They're like, this girl is disturbed. What is her problem? She's eating the marshmallows. She's like, he, mommy and daddy didn't let me, so I burned them. I burned them, killed them a lot. This is very Insane Clown Posse, Chaos Comics, Evil Ernie. It's all of these things that made the 90s edgy and cool and full of attitude. All the rumors are true. But people, look at the coloring, look at the inking, look at the beveling here, just for the panel border. But we get Jessica Priest, modern day, slaying, blowing people up. We're tagging the era here. This is a 90s era gun, 90s upgraded era gun. The guys like Greg Capullo, guys like Dwayne Turner here, when they came into comics, when they got to the level that they're at now, they saw what Rob Liefeld and what Todd McFarlane were trying to draw at one point, and they just improved it. They call these blow dryer guns. It's improved. Jessica Priest just killed a bunch of people. Jessica Priest is getting some launch codes. Points a gun at this dude's DICK. She actually puts it into that spot. She blows him up. She's like, thanks for the launch codes. You just started a war with Israel and Iraq. She blows this guy away, flies off. Her and Jason Wynn are doing some laps. They're competing. They kind of make a note that Jessica is playing into Jason Wynn, and she lets him win the swimming race because she's a master of psychology, that sort of thing. That's fine. You expect that from this character. Angles like this, where, look, it's impossible to be able to see these two in the same frame, like technically with as much as the inner palm that we're seeing here. But this style here, it's almost like in your face paneling or transitions or anchors is pivotal to Spawn at this point. Angel Medina takes it to the max. Greg Capullo knew how to accentuate and pump it up, but this is what you would call McFarlane or Spawn style, and not exactly Todd McFarlane style, because these guys drew a lot of this stuff better than McFarlane ever did. Again, guys, I'm sorry, but earlier when I said there's not a lot of lassoing, there's a lot of airbrushing, look at Jessica Priest's thigh here and her leg. Like at one time you would see lasso, and then it would be like radio fill, or you would just like fill that and you would see like gaps between the shading or layers. it is smooth. And people, this is way more labor intensive. We got some halfway decent color holds here for the water. You guys know I'm not crazy for color holds. We do a flashback. Jessica Priest. She's a mother. She's a wife. Looks like she has partially Asian children. She's living the life, living a double life. She makes dinner for the family. Then we have a very economical page here because we are on a deadline. We see the bear from the beginning, right here, the bear that she that she was holding while she burned down her family and family's house. They make love, and she's like, "Hey, I got that thing I gotta go to." So she runs off to work again. Double agent, secret spy type stuff. We've seen it before. She picks up some guys. They do a couple hops, and then they hit the South American jungle. So they kind of try and tag these guys Predator style. Like this guy has a monkey. This guy's Ubersmith and Zax. So one of these guys is Ubersmith. One of these guys is Zach. And then this conversation, this is Heart of Darkness. They're just making reference about the nature, the survival of the fittest, amigos, and it ain't pretty. And then we just get more references that they're going up the river. So this is where it gets confusing. Like this page right here, this is what we will call a break. Now, up until this point, we're following it. It's entertaining. It's fulfilling. There's good captions. There's good word balloons. But somehow there's a boat that just basically blows up their boat. Some of these guys make it off. Some of these guys jump ship. I guess this guy thinks Jessica's about to get blown up. What a body on that chicha. Such a waste. Oh well, and I guess like the caption saying this dude's jumping over. I don't know what happened to his monkey. Now, given Jessica Priest is hunting down, and I was going to wait to to show you guys this, but look, we get basic 90s action splash pages, double splash pages, right? Jessica Priest is doing the work. Great splash lines here. Great crackle. Great debris. Great color holds. Look at the additional work just for the sound effects. Nice color holds here. There's a little bit of a glow or like a halo effect on a lot of these characters, like this guy in the gas mask. So there's gas. She's flipping around, shooting everyone. She falls into the river. She kills the crocodile that we saw earlier. You can see her. She removes a gas mask. She gets a gas mask for herself. Now, she kills a couple of these other guys, and we don't know if they're soldiers or the guys that she came in with. It's a little unclear. This is what I mean. It gets confusing. But she finds the laboratory, the CIA Med Lab 005, with the brother and sister lab technicians. And if we go back to the scene in the pool, Jason Wynn makes a makes a reference that Kevin Berejigor and Liz Arno, brother and sister, Eurotrash with brains. They love their work and each other a little too much on both counts, if you catch my drift. So they're incestual. That's what he's saying. But this is, again, 90s style. Like, everything is cranked up. They wanted to be creepy. Well, she gets into the factory because she sends a decoy boat. Does more flips. Why the hell not? Kills everyone in the room. And then when she gets into... And this is, again, not a good... We're done with the issue. Would you like to read some more? The brother and the sister... They find her, they shoot her, and she's basically like, we're to believe she's left for dead until we read the next issue. This is, so remember people, this girl is supposed to replace this cat, this boy, our boy right here. So I don't know people, I never read this before, and just going through it, it's a good issue, but it's not what it needed to be to replace Chapel. And they really had to pour everything into the mold to convince us that this girl was better, equal, greater than Chapel. For example, when Chapel dies and goes to hell, he becomes Lord of Hell. when she, I guess she dies, she becomes girly Spawn. Nobody wants that. It's shocking that people even care about the she Spawn at this point. I guess maybe that happened sooner in Spawn continuity. I'm not 100%. I really don't care. But this era is great for Spawn. Curse of Spawn reign, I think 20, 29, maybe 32 issues. Reign for like 2-3 years. These are worth picking up in any dollar, any 50-cent bin. There's a couple, there might be 1 or 2 trades, but there's a lot of work here. Dwayne Turner, a master, the inking, masterful, and then the series, I believe, transitions to Clayton Crane. So within, let's just say 10 years, we have Dwayne Turner, Clayton Crane, Todd McFarlane, Greg Capullo, and Angel Medina all touching Spawn projects. People, a little bit of a golden era. And we're back! What sippy sip am I going to go for? Let's go for some prime sippy sip. We need some of that action. People, I'm not joking. This video, it was a deep dive. I remember Chapel never even being in the Spawn show. And it was great to have Max available, HBO Max as we call it in this household, available to really check it out and refresh myself. And it's kind of funny because I didn't recall when I first shot this video, I didn't recall Chapel in that show at all. But if you asked me what an animated Chapel looked like, I would have imagined what I saw in the show. So it goes to show you, our recollections are not 100% all the time. That's why it's valuable to put in the work, and for me to put that work in, and for all of you to benefit from it. And speaking of benefiting, guys, the channel is growing, the comments are coming in, you guys are hitting that like button, all of it. Thank you so much, but let's keep it going. I'm right now in process of really getting over that hump. We're going to be doing longer format videos. We're going to do long format content videos. We're going to do deeper dives. We're going to be doing compilations and cuts and edits from some of the live streams. We have more shorts coming. We have so many things happening, even at AKAPAD.com. A lot of my print collaterals coming. New Wolfpack trading cards are going out. UZI SUZI issue 2 is in digital pre-press. People, we have so much coming. It's all in thanks to you. We're going to keep going. We're not slowing down, and do whatever you can to fight the algorithm, because the algorithm is out to kick us in the nutty sacks. We got to beat that algorithm, people. All day, all night. Keep going. Don't you mother effers slow down. AKAPAD here. Rock and roll.